The prequel trilogy to a lot of Star Wars fans can be very underwhelming and tedious set of movies to get through, whether that's a bad script or unfunny characters, but to me the trilogy by itself is alright. Don't get me wrong, they have their moments. Phantom Menace brought two great characters into the Star Wars universe with Darth Maul and Qui-Gon Jinn. Attack of the Clones is fun because of the action and how they just show that we are not in just Tatooine for once in all these movies. We are actually going to different planets, which I liked a lot. And Revenge of the Sith is just basically one of my favorite movies of all time. But a lot of my love towards the prequels wouldn't be as prominent if it wasn't for the Clone Wars. The Clone Wars helped build these characters we've seen on screen for a couple of hours at most, and showed us a diverse universe based on a small line from Alec Guinness in A New Hope. So when I heard that Tales of the Jedi was a thing, I was ecstatic. Tales of the Jedi is a 6-episode anthology series depicting Count Dooku's fall to the dark side, and various points in time of how Ahsoka Tano became Ahsoka Tano. We follow Ahsoka, who has just been born, and her mother Pav-Ti on a ceremonial hunt where she teaches Ahsoka about life and death and the balance that comes with that. After shooting their prey, Pav-Ti tells Ahsoka to not turn away from death since it is a natural part of life. She killed the Kyber so she can feed her village, essentially balancing their environment. Preparing to head back home, they are attacked by a saber-toothed tiger-esque creature, and Pav-Ti does her best to try and defend her and Ahsoka until help arrives, but the tiger ends up snatching Ahsoka up and takes her back to its den. Preparing to have its late night snack, the tiger heads towards Ahsoka, but she stops the tiger by placing her hand on its nose using the Force, similarly to Grogu in the Book of Boba Fett. At the village, Pav-Ti and others are in shambles worrying about Ahsoka's safety until she arrives right on top of the tiger like a badass. After showing off her Force-sensitive powers, the village elder comes to the conclusion that Ahsoka Tano is a Jedi. We find Master Dooku and his Padawan Qui-Gon on an investigation about the kidnapping of a senator's son. Looking for answers, Dooku immediately makes his intentions clear by placing his lightsaber down, trying to strike fear into the kidnappers. The kidnappers of the senator's son is actually the whole town, and they decide to kidnap his son due to his zero involvement of his people's well-being. After seeing the kidnapped boy who also can't believe that his father would just let this happen to his people, Dooku starts to have a change of heart in his mission. The senator ends up finding the kidnappers' hideout and demands that the villagers be arrested, but Dooku doesn't because he thinks they did nothing morally wrong because the senator basically gave them no other choice. The senator ends up telling him,
"You serve the Senate."
And Dooku replies with,
"We serve the people of this republic."
and they start fighting. After wounding multiple of the villagers, they stop firing just for the senator to say,
"I will destroy this town and make an example of it."
and that was all Dooku needed to send him off into a blind rage. In his rage, Dooku force chokes the senator and even pushes Qui-Gon back when he tries to stop him. But Dooku keeps going. Qui-Gon ends up saving the day by freeing the kidnapped boy, and he saves his father's life. The boy promises to the people of the town that he will change what his father has done, leaving guards back to help repair the village. Dooku acknowledges that if it wasn't for Qui-Gon, many more lives would have been lost.
Your actions saved many lives today.
Just thinking in the moment, Master.
Well then, you're a much wiser man than I, Qui-Gon Jinn.
Thanks to your teachings.
The Jedi has been killed, and the Council dispatched Dooku and Mace Windu to retrieve the body of their fallen friend. When arriving, Windu wants to play it by the book and follow the Council's direct orders, but Dooku is more rebellious and wants to find the killer. Investigating the site where the fallen Jedi died, they uncovered that while guarding the senator, his guards were the ones that killed her. They shoot the senator dead, and both Windu and Dooku do their thing, and after defeating all the guards, they arrest one, and he says their senator was corrupt and they had to take action to their own hands. On the way back to Coruscant, Dooku tells the prisoner that his ideology is faulty, it does have its points. They silly argue over how the mission went, and Dooku asks Windu,
Do you think the Jedi will truly keep peace if they continue to take everything the Senate says as law?
After the funeral for the fallen Jedi, Dooku speaks to Windu on his promotion to Master, and Windu basically tells him that he got the promotion because he followed the orders while Dooku didn't. Inside the Jedi Temple, Dooku strolls through the Jedi archives and secretly deletes the location of Kamino using Sifo Dyas' login. Dooku notices the temple seems to be more active today, and Master Jocasta Nu tells him that his old apprentice has encountered a Sith Lord. Dooku finds Qui-Gon and tells him that the Sith Lord is not to be trifled with, and that's the last thing he ever told him. The funeral Qui-Gon is being held in Naboo, but Dooku stays back and is recalling the countless times that Qui-Gon used to stare at the sacred tree because that was the only living thing that he saw in the metal world of Coruscant. Yaddle encourages Dooku to come to Naboo with her, but he declines and leaves. Yaddle follows Dooku back to his secret meeting with Palpatine. Dooku confronts Palpatine about the death of Qui-Gon and how he allowed Maul to kill him. Palpatine just says that they both end up losing apprentices. Palpatine questions Dooku's loyalty and he tells him that he has betrayed everyone and everything he stood for. Yaddle reveals herself and pleads with Dooku to come back and help her take down Palpatine so he can be redeemed for all of it. Palpatine reminds him of the Council's faults and to prove his loyalty, he must kill Yaddle. Yaddle and Dooku battle until he gets the upper hand and he crushes Yaddle with a hangar door, but Yaddle isn't dead. She rises the gate off of her and falls to the ground. Dooku tells Yaddle that he only wants to bring peace in order to the galaxy and strikes her down. Anakin rushes to Ahsoka's training demonstration where she shows off to an audience of many Jedi, including Plo Koon, who was the one who brought Ahsoka back to the temple to start training, and a young Kanan Jarrus before his name change. Obi-Wan tells Anakin that her skills are impressive, but Anakin thinks that she can be better. Anakin takes Ahsoka to a hangar bay where the clones of the 501st are going to be her new combat trainers rather than the droids she's been used to. Again and again, Ahsoka keeps getting knocked down, and Rex tells Anakin that she can't keep getting stunned. Ahsoka tells her master that this is too hard, and Anakin tells her it's supposed to be hard. As her master, Anakin has the responsibility to protect her, and the best way to protect her is teaching her how to protect herself against enemies that she may or may not encounter. Years pass and she still does the training. Ahsoka and Rex get ready to execute their escape plan, and Rex says, "Let's hope all that training pays off," and they walk out to face the rest of the 501st. On Naboo, the funeral for Senator Padme Amidala is taking place, and in the crowd, Mon Mothma and Bail Organa pay their respects. Unknown to everybody, Ahsoka is there as well before taking off after being spotted by Bail. Bail catches up to her and tells her,
"There's nothing you could have done for either of them. Why risk it?"
She was my friend.
While talking, clones find Bail, but Ahsoka slipped away before, and Bail discreetly tells her that it's her duty to help continue the fight. Ahsoka and Rex take off from Naboo. Some time has passed, and Ahsoka is now a farm hand. On the job, she saves a girl from being crushed by bales of hay, and nobody notices her use the Force but the girl she saved. At a lunch break, Ahsoka overhears the girl's brother's devotion to the Empire. Later in the night, the girl tells her that her secret is safe with her and leaves before calling her Master Jedi, and unknown to both of them that the brother overhears this remark. The next morning, Ahsoka and the girl take off to sell the hay they harvested, and the brother tells them, "May the Force be with you," while taking off. On the way back from the market, Ahsoka sees that the whole village is burning down because the brother alerted her presence to the Empire. The brother pleads with the Inquisitor until Ahsoka saves his life, then they have their battle. Ahsoka makes quick work of the Inquisitor and decides that it's finally time for her to stop hiding, so she contacts Bail Organa and is officially back in the game. Man, what a great show. To be honest, I don't see how Tales of the Jedi can be any lower or higher than an 8.7 out of 10. So that is my official rating for the show, guys. Count Dooku was a big presence in the Clone Wars, and to see how he became a Sith Lord was just awesome. The way they show the corruption of the Senate and the unfairness and faults of the Council is great. Dooku wasn't always an evil guy, and he didn't betray the Jedi because of that. Dooku just wanted to help the people of his republic like any other Jedi would. He just did it in his own way, up until he met the wrong conduit to do that in Palpatine. Plus, the way they show the friendship of both Dooku and Qui-Gon felt real. When he died, that was Dooku's last tie to the Order. Qui-Gon was the last thing holding him back. And can we just mention that Yaddle was in this, which was pretty cool. Even though she does talk normal, I think I saw something that the original guy that voiced Yoda, I think Frank Oz, just did it that way because that was Yoda's way of paying respects to his master. I guess that's how his master used to talk. But yeah, very cool to see Yaddle back. The first Ahsoka episode to me was nothing too special. I didn't really think we need to see how Ahsoka first used the Force. But don't get me wrong, the episode wasn't bad. It was just something I didn't really care to see. I wish we saw something, I guess, more entertaining. I guess that may sound really bad, but the episode wasn't bad. And I love the callback to the final arc of the Clone Wars where her unseen training comes back to help her defend herself against Rex and the clones. In the same episode, we see the love Anakin has for Ahsoka by going above and beyond her training because he just wants her to stay alive in this war where Jedis are being killed left and right. The final episode, this was awesome, almost perfect, and I'll get to that in a minute. One of the things I've always wanted to see is Revenge of the Sith in Clone Wars animated style, and we got a couple of seconds of that. The final fight with whichever Inquisitor brother this is the only problem I have with this episode. It's just too quick. The lead up to the fight was awesome. His character design is just super fucking cool. And his lightsaber, when that shit hit the ground, that was just crazy. He just got bitched immediately, which just shows Ahsoka's badass, I guess. But man, I wish they showed an actual fight, like between her and Maul, or like her and Ventress or something like that. I don't remember, but I wish it was just like one of those fights previously. Also, the score in this entire show was just amazing in every episode. Okay, after singing the show's praises, the only real criticism I had, I guess, was the voice acting. Sometimes it seemed a little off at sometimes, but other than that, I just wish the episodes were longer and had more of them. Season 2 of this show better be already greenlit because man, I can't wait to see what other Jedis or characters they plan to do stories of. Some characters I hope we see are Asajj Ventress, because she is just a cool character to me and one of my favorite antagonists in Star Wars. I would love to see how Darth Maul started the Syndicate. That would be cool because especially we don't know that much between his life between the Clone Wars and up into his death in Rebels. If Season 2 doesn't focus strictly on Jedi/Sith characters, I would love to see a Jango Fett story. Maybe it can be how Dooku recruited him, and I know that story is told in Bounty Hunter, the video game, but I'm not sure if that's even canon anymore. But something I need to see is what happened to Jar Jar after Revenge of the Sith. In some books, there is a loose connection of him being some town fool or something, but I would love to see him back just for like a little 10-minute episode. He might be the most hated character in Star Wars, one of, but I would love to see his character come back just one last time. I know I strictly named Clone Wars era characters, but some original and sequel and Rebel characters would be cool to see as well. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I wanted to upload this like right when it came out, but I was having a hard time writing the script, and even then I think I did okay. It's probably not my best work, but I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. Check out the next one. The Andor review should be out in the next month or two when the show ends up finally finishing up, and then I'll recover the Mandalorian, maybe. We'll see. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one.